Thank you to Brazil for their influence on our film. We had an extraordinary Brazilian influence on this film. So our cinematographer, Thomas, was Brazilian who lives in Sydney. My daughter, Sol, her parents are Brazilian. They live in Sydney. Her father was one of the first jiu-jitsu coaches to come and teach jiu-jitsu in Australia.
Daniel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine, and you?
I'm very well.
Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you and to talk about this Beast movie. It's amazing.
No, I can talk about Beast movie anytime you like.
Yes. When you read the script and what got your attention on this character, and also, like, I know that Russell Crowe wrote part of the script, and how's it for you to be reunited with him?
Look, it was an incredible responsibility. It was an incredible challenge. It was the biggest challenge I've ever taken on in my career, and I love taking on a challenge. But in terms of learning not one sport, but multiple sports at a level of technical proficiency, to change and grow my body to look like a professional fighter that has the weight and the history of a lifetime of fighting was an extraordinary challenge. And then to show up every day and go to work opposite Russell Crowe and Luke Hemsworth and this great cast of actors, it tested every aspect of my skill set and my craft. And thankfully, I think we overcame the challenge in a great way because the response has been fantastic. But what we're left with is a film that's got so much heart and so many great themes on top of just being an intense fight film.
Yes. I learned that you learn Thai boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu is the Brazilian jiu-jitsu. How was like that learning all these techniques and preparing to play this and also I want to know the mental part of the character because both work together, right?
No, exactly. And look, there's a great, not even mental, but there's a great spirituality that comes, the spiritual connection that comes into martial arts as well. And that was something we really leaned into in taking the finale of the film to Thailand, because that's such a great spiritual aspect of Thai culture and Muay Thai and the warrior spirit that exists there. We thought that was a really interesting and beautiful place to take the fights, finale of the film. But boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, each one of those was obviously very different. The fighter's mentality, the fighter's attitude, the fighter's weight and gravitas was not something that I naturally had, so I had a wonderful fighters from all around the world impart sort of knowledge and they were really generous with their time. We had an extraordinary Brazilian influence on this film. So our cinematographer, Thomas, was Brazilian who lives in Sydney. My daughter, Sol, her parents are Brazilian. They live in Sydney. Her father was one of the first jiu-jitsu coaches to come and teach jiu-jitsu in Australia. And then my Muay Thai coach was actually a Brazilian a professional MMA fighter. So we had a huge Brazilian influence on this film. But the challenge of the technicality of MMA, everybody around the world has access to high-level MMA in the palm of their hands now. So not only did we have to match that, we had to rise above that in terms of making it entertaining and making it authentic and intense, but then take it to a cinematic level as well. So that was a real challenge for me. I was in great hands with Bren Foster, and he's an extraordinary actor, an extraordinary martial artist. So we're hoping that this really raises the level of MMA that's ever been on film before.
Absolutely. Have you been to Brazil? Did you learn any Portuguese?
I have never been to Brazil. I've got so many great friends from there. I've never been there. I always wanted to come and race the Ironman down in Florianopolis, but I never made it down. So maybe I have to come back and do that.
Yeah. Did you learn any Portuguese?
No.
Why work with that?
I'm still trying to pick up my Spanish here in Miami today.
Okay, no, that's great. That's good. And I want to know, like preparing to play this fighter, this MMA. What what would most surprise you about them? Like talking to them, and you know what I mean? Because this is another world, is something different from you do every day. What would most surprise you?
The absolute, you know, and I discovered this previously. I discovered this when I was working on a show called Strike Back. I played a special forces operator. And so I was working with a lot of tier 1 operators, military guys, Navy SEALs, whatnot, and particularly similar with top level fighters, that there is often a great peace and stillness and calmness and an innate kind of gravitas that comes. They're the calmest guys in the room. They're the most observant guys in the room, and it actually takes a lot to get a rise out of them energetically. So it meant that I went away and really anchored this deep well of emotion into Patton James, but really tried to ground him as a family man, as a husband, as a father, and all those kind of, and you know, as a brother and as a son, to a surrogate son to Russell's character. All those really grounding moments that I could take allowed me to build this great base that we launch from to take us to Thailand.
That's amazing. Daniel, that's the time that I have with you. I just want to thank you so much for your time. Muito obrigada. I'm from Brazil, so I'm very proud that you work with a lot of Brazilians, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Brazil for their influence on our film.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
If you like to support or continue to support Jana on Camera, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the videos.